Welcome to the session today. Okay, so today's topic is detox your mind. Okay, so we always talk about how to detox my room, my body, detox air, like we put the air filter in our room to, to filter the pollutions. So today, most important one is really the mind, right? Because that's most thoughts are created. The main function for the mind is creation of the thoughts, right? And so if we can think of the most polluted place nowadays, we can see is the mind and how important it is. It's not necessary, but it's very important. It's not that a choice that should I clean, but it is very, very important. So the mind as a creation of the thought, that this is where the origin of the thoughts, this is where the origin of the feelings comes from. So it's very important to keep it nice and clean. So we will learn today a few tools and techniques how to clean the mind. So let's see, how many types of thoughts do we create? Positive, negative, waste thoughts, right? Divine thoughts and necessary thoughts, right? All these thoughts are created in the mind through what? What is the origin? From the mind, yes, but what is the raw material? Which is very important. What are we using it? As we feed the food for the body, right? That's how we keep our body healthy. But for our mind, what kind of content am I consuming it? It's very important. So very important that what am I watching through my eyes? What am I hearing through my ears? Is it positive? Because if I am feeding the negative content, the outcome will be negative, right? So all this taking, very much into the action, if we can say, all these thoughts, if we wanted to make it positive, first thing is to put the positive information, and that's where the Raj Yoga meditation could be, because there are about more than 10 million students right now out there as a Brahma Kumaris. We learn the Raj Yoga meditation. We have the lessons sessions in the morning, and that sessions what we learn is almost all the positive content, and it helps us go through the day. When the situations comes, when the obstacle comes, when the difficult people we have to face, it helps us because we made the base in the morning. Instead of watching that negative news, putting that, that one, it's about 40 minutes, half an hour session that we all attend. It's throughout the world, same lessons goes through, and that learning really shapes our day, right? So it's a positive learning, positive company, definitely. That's very important because company really colors our thoughts, right? Whatever the companies that I am whole day, that affects. So those are very important. So if we can see the thoughts are created in the mind, and if they are negative, it affects my health. As negative, stressful thoughts can produce the stressful hormones. Those are like cortisols and adrenaline, which are very important during the danger time. But when we think and repeatedly repeat those events that hurt me or that, cause the stress, what happens? Those stress hormones are continuously produced, right? And those cause the health problem. And those health problems are heart, because my heart is beating very fast because of those stress hormones. It could, chronic stress could cause the stroke, right? The increase the inflammation, anger, all those vices, resentment, all those we are holding into, it would cause the inflammations that could cause the arthritis, the autoimmune diseases. So all these diseases are really, the origin are from the thoughts. So how important it is. All these strokes, heart problems, digestion problems, sleep problems, those are all are because of this polluted mind. If we understand it through the analogy of a room, as a child, in my mind, think of it as a, as an inner, very beautiful space where I can sit, where I can relax, when I can meditate. So as in my mind, there is an inner space where I create. As a child, there is no negativity. It's crystal clear, beautiful, like you can imagine as the flowers, the fragrance, the all those positivity that I can create within my mind, right? Because there are no vices, there are no misidentifications are created yet. But as we grow up, what happens? I get attached with my identity as I'm a body, as my position, as my power, as what are the speciality that I have, that with ego it comes up. And I started collecting it, also the reactions and response that I get it from the people, that resentment, anger, grudges, all that I started collecting in this room as an unnecessary thing, right? This room is through I see the outer world. This room where I create my thoughts. So what raw material I am accumulating in this room? It's very important. So today we will learn few techniques to clean this room. All these unwanted things that we have started accumulating from years and years. And sometimes, of course, it even goes to the next life. Right? So what baggages, what boxes, what unwanted furniture that I'm collecting in this room, let's take a look. And how is it harming my health, my karmic accounts, and ultimate destiny? That's all are getting affected. And the seed is the thought. What kind of thoughts I'm creating. And what, of course, thought is the energy and it radiates. Right? If we think that, yes, it's just one small negative thought, and it's my personal thought, but it's not. It really energy, and it vibrates to the other person or anything out there. Even the 5 elements, nature gets affected with it too. So I have to be very aware of it, filter it, those thoughts, right? So if we can learn 3 techniques, let's see, that could help us to clean this room, to detox my mind. The first one is a knowledge. This room that I put very much unnecessary, all the things and furnitures, and it's stinking, it is heavy, it's dark. So the first awareness is the light, the knowledge, right? And the darkness dissolves. The knowledge of myself. Knowledge, who am I? Who do I belong to? That brings comfort, right? Because all these angers and resentments and all that came is because I felt uncomfortable. I feel unsafe that someone is hurting me, and that's how all this negativity got created. But if I know who I belong to and I'm always safe, this could be dissolved, right? So knowledge of myself, who do I belong to, and what is my original nature, right? So that's the knowledge of myself. I am a peaceful soul, not this body, not this role. All this, with this identification, all this vices enters in this room. But when I understand I'm a peaceful soul, nothing can hurt me. And who do I belong to? It's a Father, Supreme Soul, who also look like me as a point of light, and he gives me unlimited love, peace, right? So safety is there, understanding is there, and then my nature, my original nature. As I'm a child, how am I? So pure, so innocent, loving, caring. That's my original nature. I'm never like that. I never used to be like that. The angers, resentments, that's all acquired. My originality is pure peace, bliss, power, knowledge. That's my original. That's who I am, right? So that's the knowledge. The second one is connection. Once I know who am I and who I belong to, where can I go back? Any time that I have a trouble, issue, any questions, I can go back to the Supreme Soul, my Father. He's always there. Like for an example, sun is radiating light whole time, right? But because my windows has so much dust, the light is not passing through. It doesn't mean that sun is not there. All I need to do is clean my windows, right? So my room windows are collected with so much dust, dust of vices. All I need to do is clean it and make it original, and I could have that connection with Supreme Soul. And so now what I need for my peace, for my comfort, that connection is there. And any time that I need to talk to, I need to get the back to my original nature, original state, I can connect with him. Rather than being angry, being, finding justice out there in the world, if I understand why and how it's happening with me, whatever, so taking the responsibility for my actions, for my thoughts, I will be free from grudges and from attachment, from all these negativities. So second one is connection. First, knowing myself. Second one is connection with the Supreme Soul. And this is the lessons in Raj Yoga meditations that we learn. The first lesson is knowing myself. Who am I? How? And the second one is connecting with the Supreme Soul, which is very powerful. Would change the life. It did for me and so for others. So that's called Raj Yoga meditation. The third one, what we can really do that could help detox our mind is forgive others. When we learn who am I and when we have connection with Supreme Soul, my emotional stability increases. And now I am able to take the responsibility for anything happening in my life. Because I understand now that anything negativity is coming to me is because of some time, in the past I have thrown that. And so it's coming back to get it settled, right? So if we can say that if I think negative for someone, does it create my karma? I just have a thought, nothing else. Would it create my karma? Yes? Yes, it would. Because see, each thought is an energy. It vibrates, it radiates. For an example, there was a story of a woodcutter. He sells the sandalwood, right? And one day, Raja was passing by, and all of a sudden, king has this, king, that the Hindi word king. So king has this thought of killing this sandalwood woodcutter who sells the sandalwoods. And the king is very much of, puzzled that why am I getting such a negative and violent thought, which I never thought, like myself as a, very good king, I would never think of such a thought. Why is it happening to me? And so he goes to this woodcutter person that I have such a thought. Why is it happening? Do you know why am I having this thought? And so he is also an honest person, and he comes to the king and he says, because I had a thought that if you die, Then I can sell this sandalwood, because king would, would of course use the sandalwood to burn the body, and so I would make lots of money. So just this, think of it, just one thought, and it exchanged between two. As a soul, we are energy. Two, as a point of light, we are not this body, we are also energy, and we vibrates. The vibrates according to the thoughts, according to the quality of the thought. So we have to be very conscious that what thought that am I creating. And when there are negative thoughts, they are very fast, drains the energy very fast. But if there are positive, it's very less, and the mind is clear, and the energy of the soul resolves, like it will be there, not drain it. So that's how we would know that am I in the cycle of negative thoughts or positive, right? So the karmic accounts, we can say that each thought would be the seed of my karmic accounts. So there is also one more way of anchoring the worry and negative thoughts that was like really a scientific way that have proved it. So there was one businessman who has a whole day, very busy day, lots of meetings, lots of deadlines. And when he comes home, he has this one dry tree in his courtyard, in the front yard. And he goes to that tree, hugs the tree, touches the branches, and then enter in the house. And when he's entering in the house, he's very happy, very relaxed. He has that very good quality time with the family. And then he rests whole night. And then when he goes in the morning back to work, he again touches the tree and leaves. So one of his servant watches this every day. And so one day he couldn't stop himself, and he asked him that, what are you doing? Why are you touching the tree when you come in the house and when you go? So he said, this is my worry anchoring tree. So what he does is, when he comes back home, he touches the tree, and all that worry and stress and all that, he hangs it on that tree. And then in the morning, when he goes back to take it back to work with him, because now his mind is rested, the worry doesn't look big. The problems that he hanged it, it looks small, because now he has a clear mind, clear thoughts, and energy, right? So in the morning when he goes back to work, he's able to resolve it better. He's able to deal with it better. And so that was a one technique, anchoring the worry. And so his relations with his family is very good. He's a peaceful, like able to, maintain that harmony in the relations. And his health is good because he's able to, anchor his worry when he enters in the house. So that's like one of the technique that have been used. Then there is each thought creates our karma, of course. So we are creating our karma through our thoughts. And so what we have to be very careful. Of course, the meditations, the Raj Yoga meditation would teach us, would give us the stability, the emotional stability, the power of, tolerance. All that would help us, right, to resolve, to settle our karmic account. Because if my mind has so much of negative emotion, it's not just hurt my health, but it also hurt my relations. And if I'm constantly carrying that, it will even pass it to my next life. So there was a story of a mother-in-law and a granddaughter. It was a small village. This is a real research that Dr. Stevenson, who has done it. So in a small village, there is a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, which has a constant conflict. And they're not able to resolve it. They have so much of negative emotions between each other. And so because mother-in-law was old and she left body with anger, with negative emotion, with resentment, her last word were, I will not leave you, I still need justice. So what happened here? Because she couldn't resolve, it carried with that soul. So even though body left, that negative thoughts and emotions and feeling are baggage. And after a few years, the daughter got born in that family, in the couple. That daughter-in-law has a daughter now, and that daughter is not letting her sleep for months and months. Not a regular infant. Pulls her hair, gets angry, gets mad, and what happened here? So it's very important. We don't know what is my last moment. And so the resolving each negative emotions, my thoughts, each thought has to be, I have to be very careful with it. And so if we can see the karmic accounts, how it works. If someone does wrong to me, and if I have that, resentment, and I scream back, what happens here? Do I think it's got balanced? Because he did negative and I did negative. What happens here? Negative plus negative, it goes more negative. So I'm into the loop now. Loop of the karmic account of the negative emotions. If someone does negative and I am able to do positive, I'm able to respond it with calmness, with patience, even though they are angry, right? What happens here? It's settled. I don't have to see that soul again. Otherwise, it's like a rubber band. We stretch it, and one day we come back, get together again until it gets settled, until it gets resolved. So it's very important here to have that positive response. What do I need to learn? Right? So the tools that we can use, some we'll go through it. And then if we can see positive, it's like a elevated actions. It becomes the harmony in the world, harmony in the relationships, right? Harmony in the atmosphere. So having a positive and positive actions, it will really brings, that's what it's really world need nowadays, right? If we said here any numbers, if we multiply with 0, what happens? It's 0, right? So that's also really comes in the karmic account. 0 is my ego. So even though I do many elevated actions, but if it multiplies by 0, means that ego, that I, and I am the one who did it, it's because of me this happened. So the result is 0. Because it has to be done selflessly. It's not something with that ego, the result is 0. So that's the math of the karmic way of, understanding it. So the tools to clean up the karmic accounts, to settling it, is the first one is don't react, respond. And what happens when someone is angry? If I respond with patience, it will get settled. Someone is jealous, and if I respond with appreciation, it gets settled. So it's neutralize it. So instead of reacting it, I need to respond. So that's like a consciously, if I would be, aware of what thoughts I'm creating, it is possible, right? The second one is my thought is a seed. If the seed is negative emotion, it will create that, loop of negative karmas, right? But if I know the connection, I know the knowledge of myself, connection with Supreme Soul, if I take the, yoga power, the power from Supreme Soul, and I roast that seed of negative emotions, negative, thought, it will be roasted seed and it won't grow. Right? So I really need to work on the seed, on the thought level, in order for it not to grow. So that's the second technique. And third one, again, the same one, forgiveness. Forgiveness is always my choice. It's the making myself free, making others free. But the most important is making myself free. Because anger is, as Buddha says, when I am angry, I am really holding the burning coal in my hand first before I throw it to the others. So it really affects me first, because they said when I'm angry, to heal those emotion, it takes 6 months. One time if I'm angry, it takes 6 months to heal that. The body, that cells that, it gets affected. So how important it is to have that patience, that love, that, not have that negative emotions. The third one, we could say that, how my thought creates my feeling creates my action, and repeated actions is my habits, and habits shapes my destiny, right? So if we can understand that the thought is the seed and how it creates my destiny, it's not just affect this life, but if I'm carrying that burden, it will go to my next life. It affects my health, it affects my relations, it affects my karmic account and my destiny. So thoughts, detox my mind, how important it is to relieve the stress, to have that positive thoughts. And it would really help all these tools that we talked. First is knowledge that could dissolve the darkness in that room that we have created. It would be the connection with the Supreme Soul, which gives me the understanding, it gives me the knowledge that also I'm here for a reason, right? I'm here to learn something, and the obstacles are really in front of me to awaken my virtues and my powers, because something that needs to be learned. And if it's a happy and peaceful life throughout, I'm not learning anything. So the obstacles and the hard persons, the personalities that comes in front of me to teach me something, right? The forgiveness is the power to let it go, to make myself free of all the resentment. If I'm holding my hand tight, like a fist tight, and I hold my hand like this, how long can I hold it? Right? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I get tired. And that's what we are holding in our mind, the resentments. And those stress, that heaviness, creating all these heart diseases, the autoimmune diseases, those are all psychosomatic. They weren't in this world a few years ago. When I was a child, the family of 20 lived together. There was such a harmony. They listen the elderly, whatever they have to say, everyone follows it. And that's how the family used to be. But think of it nowadays. There is one person, their computer, and a dog or a cat, and they are still not peaceful, right? So all those virtues, the harmony in the relationships, all those are lost is because of the mind is polluted. And it is very important to detox that. Yes. Now we'll go into the meditation for a few minutes. Experience it. Sit comfortably. Both feet on the ground. Relax every muscles of your body. Relax your shoulders. Disconnect with the outer world. judge it. Don't criticize. Just observe it. My inner place. Where I create my thoughts. Feelings begins here. Decisions are made. This room is it clean? Is it cluttered? I bring my attention I'm being aware now. Awareness is the first step. First step of transformation. I have the tools now. Knowledge of myself. Who am I? Who I belongs to. What is my original nature? Now I have a connection with Supreme Soul. Who is my father, my guide, my friend, ocean of peace. Ocean of love. Ocean of purity. He's radiating unconditional love. My heart is filled with love. It's radiating peace. Worry got melted. Anger dissolved. His ocean of power is my Father. My Kanapi. Protection. He's my guide. Guides me for elevated destiny. His ocean of the powers. Power of tolerance. Harmonize my relations. Gives me stability. My thoughts are not dependent on any negativity anymore. I take full responsibility of my every thoughts. My words. And my actions. I, the soul, a peaceful being, now plants the seed of peace. Seed of patience. Seed of cooperation. Which brings harmony. Stability. And peace. my surroundings, and so in the world. I, the soul, radiate peace, I, the soul, radiate love, peace is my original nature. It will radiate through my thoughts, it radiates in my words. And so I take control to reshape my destiny. Fear converts in the faith. Anger converts in love. I, the soul, am a peaceful being. Radiating this peace in the world. Let's sit in this awareness. Om Shanti. Anyone has any question?
Sister, can I get the recording of this? I missed the whole lecture except the meditation part.
Um, it will be on the website, yes.
I don't know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone has a question? Everyone good?
Thank you very much. It was very helpful. You set our mind, detox it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
No, I do every day meditation, but it's my mind it still is not going one state. They're going all outside, what can I do?
So, see, the room, as we understood, the room is dusty. It collected the dust from years after years. So, it is a process. It is a process to clean it every day. Like in the morning when I wake up, I need to see how much I collected to clean it, and the nighttime before I go to sleep, I have to clean it again. So it's my actions, my thoughts, my whatever I have did during the day. It's like a self-checking. We call it chart. So
Okay.
during the day, don't sleep with some negative emotions or some negative, like what the world is doing right now. When they wake up, they have the social media or the news. It's all negative, and so it that will be processing in the mind, because right now we could say it's digital obesity. They are putting them lots of content in, but not able to digest it. So
Yep.
that's where we need to really stop first, that what content am I feeding my mind?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Before we go to sleep, we always do the prayer and the pranayam and yoga. So many times I get the dream of Ambaji and Gayatri Devi, and all
That's good.
like a nice dream I get, and I get so happy in the morning when I get up.
That's the result. That's a result of cleaning process that you are doing, because negative will bring the negative feeling and emotions. So what I'm feeding my mind, what it will use as a raw material for the thoughts and feelings. So my company, my content, so being aware of it, that would help.
Thank you.
Right. Detached yourself. So it's a knowledge of knowing myself. Who am I? Because that's the first lesson in Raj Yoga meditation that we learned, that I'm not this body, I'm not this role. This is this is to play my part. But who am I is same for each one of us, a peaceful, powerful soul. And it's a practice. It is a practice of daily meditation. And that
You
will
guys.
bring that calmness within you, that your mind is cluttered. Why, how, what is, because I have all these questions, that who am I, why am I here, why he or she's doing this with me. And the course, Raj Yoga meditation course, will answer all these questions. My purpose of being here, who do I connect to get that peace within myself. So those all questions would be answers. Those are all the pictures of the sessions of the Raj Yoga meditations. Yeah. Yes. So the course, there is a QR code outside. So all the upcoming programs and courses, it will brings the schedule. And yeah, it is very helpful. Yes. Perfect. Yes, that's the aim. The meditation would detox your mind very, it's easy. Once we get into it, it will help for sure. Yes, it will change the life actually, I would say.
That's true.
Yes. Okay. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om
Shanti.
Shanti. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Shanti.
Om
Om,
Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.